Today I'll be showing you how to model a tool in Roblox by using weld constraints to ensure that the model stays together as one part. In later videos I'll show you how to script the model as well as create animations for whenever you're using the tool. There are two main things you need to look out for when you're creating a tool in Roblox. One is to create the welds correctly, otherwise all the parts just scatter whenever you wield the tool. And two, you need to unanchor the parts of the tool, otherwise you end up getting teleported to this random part of your map and you're stuck holding the tool because it's anchored. But in this video, I'll tell you how to fix both those issues and create a tool that is functional. So here I have the parts that I'll use to create my tool. And just for size comparison, I'll put it next to a rig to make sure it looks proportional. So make sure you do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and insert a part and name it handle with a capital H. This is one thing you need to do, as the handle is where the hand placement will be for your tool. And make sure you only have one handle for your tool. Now you do need to know where the front of the handle is, because the hand is going to hold the handle from the back. So to do this, I insert a decal to make sure I know where the front of the handle is. I'll use this as the same front for my tool. And see, I need to turn my handle around because currently it's backwards. Now again, the handle is where the hand is going to grip the tool, so I'll just use a rig as comparison and scale my handle down. Now this is about what it looks like whenever the user equips a tool. This is where the handle will end up being held at on the player. And again, you can see the blue arrow is the front and the green arrow is the top. Again, you can use a decal just to confirm that these are the correct sides. And now I'll move my parts for the tool about where I want it to be in relation to the handle. So I think this looks good, so I will use this as my handle. And now I'll set the transparency of the handle to 1 because we don't need it showing. We're just going to use this as the tool grip basically. So now what I want to do is weld the parts of my tool together. Because they won't be anchored, there will need to be something to keep the parts from just falling apart and scattering everywhere. So first I'll insert a tool part and I'll name it X. And I'll move all of my parts into this tool. We don't need this touch interest, so we can delete that. Now one last check, we do want to make sure the parts are unanchored because we don't want our player teleporting to a random part of the map whenever we equip the tool, so we just want to make sure these are unanchored. And now we want to create the welds. So we can do it manually one by one. We can create a weld constraint instance and mark each attribute as one of the two parts, one being the handle and one being the other part of the tool, and we would need to do this for every part of the tool. However, instead of doing this manually, I'm just going to use a plugin, so I will delete these and show you that plugin. It's super easy to use. It's just called Weld and it's by OzzyPig. I use it for all my tools, especially when there's a lot more parts in a tool. It's a lot easier to use this. Now if you go to the plugins tab under welding, there's a button called Weld All that welds all selected parts to the first part. And what that means is we just need to select the handle, hold Control, and click all the other parts in our tool, and then click Weld All. And this will create these weld instances for each part, connecting that part to the handle. So that will do all the heavy lifting for us. So now our tool is pretty much ready. Just for testing purposes, I'll go ahead and move it into the starter pack. And here we have our working tool that I'll show you in later videos how to script and animate. And that is it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you have any other suggestions or questions, please also put them in the comments.